Okay, geeks, so last week we left off adding our data to our app.js file and then also adding the search functionality. Now we're going to handle navigation and passing props to different screens and then using that prop to call an API and to render new data and get that data displayed on the screen. Now, there was a company that I was working for, it was a camping company, and I'm gonna do my best to simulate it. But what they had was when a user would click on a specific camping site, that camping site would have an ID attached to it. So I would have to take that ID, pass that ID as a parameter to the next screen, and using that ID, I was going to pass that ID to another endpoint, and that endpoint was going to be called, and then it was going to get that data to show on the screen dynamically. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do right now. So I'm going to go to React Navigation, and I'm going to go through the installation process. So I'm going to speed through this. I'm gonna add this to my index.js file, add it to the top of my file. Cool. Now I'm going to add stack navigation to our project. Copied. Cool, so I'm gonna go ahead and just gonna copy what I have here. Actually, I'm just gonna update this a little bit. So I'm gonna create a new file or a new folder titled Screens. Within the screens, I'm going to have a home screen. I'm also going to have a details screen. Home screen. For the home screen, I'm just going to copy everything I have in the app.js file. I'll make sure my imports, everything's correct. Cool. All this console logs. It's all gravy. Cool. Home screen. Home screen. File called router.js. Go ahead, just copy what we have here. Oh, copy what's here. I don't know why it's so hard to copy all of a sudden. There you go, I just copy like this. My router file. Import my home screen, and also import my details screen. App nav So now when I go into my app.js file, go ahead and just move everything here. Import app nav from my router. Reference the app nav. Oh, and I'm gonna have to restart the application, so I'll go ahead and do that because I forgot we added navigation, so I got to do yarn start, and I also have to stop this, clean the build folder, and then restart the project. Okay, so now we have our application back up and running on our screen. And if you take a look here, we actually have our header too. So that's how we know navigation is working. Now within our home screen, what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to add some kind of like buttons that's going to allow us to navigate to the detail screen. So up here, this is where I have my search. So I'm going to add it below the search. Right here. View. Hey guys, if this looks rough, oh well. This is the point of this whole video, is just to give you guys an idea of what they're actually going to test you on during these interviews. I promise you, this is completely 100% accurate. So flex direction. This row. Items. Center. And justify content. It's going to be space around. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and add, do I have touchable opacity right here? I do. So I'm going to add 3 buttons. Touchable opacity. Background color. Gonna be blue. Width is gonna be 25%. Height 100%. Border radius. We don't need to put this, but oh well. It's gonna be 15. Line items. Center and justify content center. Okay, text. This is going to be 1 day. So style, color, $7 days. This is going to be 30 days. The reason I'm doing this is because we're still using the same API that we used in the last video. This API helper at file. Okay, so for the New York Times API, you can look at the most popular articles that were emailed, and you can check either the article that was a day old, 7 days old, which is a week, or a month old, which is 30 days. So that's what we're doing right now. I'm going to add the on press. Well, let me go ahead and destructure our props from our home screen and add navigation. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the on press prop. Let me go ahead and save it. I want to see how our is looking the way I expect it to look. Now go ahead and add. I won't make it pretty. So I'm going to add the on press prop. On press. Navigate. We're going to navigate to details, and I'm going to send the parameter curly brackets. I'm going to say number of days. We're going to set it equal to 1. Alright, so when I click on this button, we're going to go to our detail screen. That's exactly what happens. So I'm going to copy this function. I'm going to pass it to each one of our buttons. It's 30 days. Next is 7 days. Alright, so I'm going to go to the detail screen. We can actually destructure our props. So I know it's going to be route. So I'm going to console log our route. And from our route, we should be able to grab our params. So I'm going to turn on my debugger. Alright, so I click on 1 day, check out our params, params.number of days. So I'm going to go ahead and destructure that. Const equal to route.params. We're going to get number of days. Alright, cool. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do in my home screen, I'm going to copy what I have as my use effect, pass it into my detail screen. So I don't need any of this stuff, so I'll move this out the way. I'll also call, I'm going to grab this right here. Cool. I'm not sure if this is actually going to be, so I'll just see the data. And remember, we have to call a different endpoint, so we're going to call get most emailed articles, and we're going to pass in a number of days. Okay, cool. I'm going to comment this out. I'm only going to console log our response. Cool. So now go back, making this API call. See our data, results. So I'm going to add data.response.data.results. So we have abstract. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to grab my flat list. Say style dot flex1. So I'm passing the flat list just like that. Instead, I'm going to reference abstract. Actually, let's keep it like this. So now we're still unable to see that flat screen. I know it has to do with. So I'll console log this. Let me see. Item. Pretty confident our item is going through. Oh yeah, I forgot to call it. So okay, response data. What is it talking about? Render items. Oh yeah, style is not defined. Oh well, let me remove that. I don't need a style. As you can see, now it's showing up. So that's what's showing up for 1 day in the past, 7 days in the past, and 30 days in the past. Alright, so that's how you actually pass data to another screen as a prop, and then also get that data to show by calling another API call. I'm unsure why this is looking funky, but you know, oh well, I do not care. It's working. So anyways, I'm going to stop the video here. Honestly, watch part 1, watch part 2, master it, play around with different APIs, and I promise you'll get hired. For whatever reason, there's a plethora of people who know React, but they only know a little bit of React Native. And this is actually what a company told me. And they asked me, why are there so little React Native developers? And I told them, like, in school, they don't teach you mobile development. They teach you web development. And most people are going to do the bare minimum. So when they go home, they're not going to want to teach themselves a new skill. So anyways, like, comment, subscribe. And like I said, follow both these tutorials. All right, peace.